Clark Sumik. The Kligs. Septum. Sedona. The Dragon Kingdom. Yet another one. And we're going to talk today. We're going to talk to all of my ancient family. That's the only ones I really want to talk to. That's who I'm here to talk to, my ancient family. We are in Sedona, and I'm going to get into everything today that I have found out within the past 24 hours. I just want y'all to look at the beautiful views of our ancient kingdom. The beautiful views, these are still cloaked. They're still there. They're still there. That's, you know what that was. That was a whole crystal tree tower. You know how that goes. This was a lion. I'm going to go here. That was a lion, y'all. That's like a sphinx. That's like a sphinx right there. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's like a sphinx, family. All right. Another crystal tree right here. And I want to get into some of the little holes in the wall because you could only fly to get to these holes. We would just sit there with our feet dangling, you know. You can't climb there. You got to fly there. And you can sleep in there. And inside of these, we would basically be living in here. It would be a bunch of holes in there, caverns, and we would be, you know, basically setting fire, having holes sprouting out because it would turn the clay, all right, into a chimney, not a chimney and a fireplace. That's how it would go. Okay. There will be water running through here, sprouting down. We would have streams. The water would be like a green with like a little red stripes running through it because of the crystals and the information and the minerals in the water. Okay. We would take baths in it and we would bathe in it. My hair was red. My beard was red because we would be bathing in the minerals. Okay. We got some monitoring spirits here as well. But that's how it goes when you are an ancient dragon and they all want to see you. Because they know this is your fucking land. Sekleg Sumits, and you're studying them. They're wondering why you don't just get it over with. Because we're fucking studying you. We created you, to study what you're studying about us. This is how we do it. We love experience. We love experience as the Christ energy. We love experience. Okay, what we come from is nothing but abundance and endless abundance. I want you to understand endless abundance. Okay. A lot of you are living in areas where you've maxed out your grid point, but you can only do what you got to do. The thing about us dragons, us more ancient dragons, because there's levels to this, is that when we know who we are, we do not quit. We cannot quit. We will not quit ever. Once you know, you cannot go back for some of us. And the thing about this creation is, once the creator knows it's the creator, the creation cannot physically touch the creator. It can try to touch you in the astrals. But you don't die in the astrals either. They've been trying to touch the shit out of me in the astrals because they can't touch me here. I've had more occurrences with police than ever, but they can't touch you. They can only fuck with your mind. Do you see? All the noises that you guys are hearing, okay, that is to fuck with your senses because they cannot touch your body. But they can touch your ears because ears is touch. Ears only have one sense. It's touch. You touch the wind. It touches your skin. Noise touches your ears so you can perceive it. The vision touches your eyes so you can see it. The taste must touch your tongue so you can taste it. But it's touch. So if I create all these annoying noises, I'm going to control your mind and I'm going to control what you do with that mind. If I cannot touch your physical body. Do you see? Miklek otoring mus sitaking garix, and we are the Christ energy. Inside the Christ energy family, we all have different roles and different names. My name in the Christ energy is Yeshua, Horus, King Tut, King Geranus. We have many names. This is who the fuck I am. Figure out who the fuck you are inside of the Christ energy. Because we are all the same being separated, having different experiences in our creation that we created, studying the beings that we created to study us, that we study them and study what they're studying about us. See how they respond when they realize there's something more powerful on this planet than them that actually put them here to actually study what it is they'll do with it when they got it. Because to our natural state, they're very, very small. I wouldn't even like to call them ants because ants are smarter than them. Ants are smarter than them. They're shooting a pulse wave at me because I must. Oh my goodness. Woo, that was a good one. Sometimes they shoot pulse waves at you to try to throw your body off. They try to touch you with sound, right? I was in Blue Ridge, Georgia for the past 2 months, living in nature around the bears and the wolves, feeding them, having fun with them, crows, black eagles following me around, herons following me around, crows waking me up in the AM. They were my alarm clock. They don't mess with you, not the real ones. That's why I keep on helping you understand that there's no one like you probably around you unless you have found your divine counterpart. Unless you have found your divine counterpart, you're not going to find like these big groups of being like what we are. We don't right now. We're not running in big groups as dragons. We're running in very small groups, if any at all. Most of you are by yourself because you don't really need a group. You are the group. You have the group around you. You have the group within you. You understand that? Now, a lot of you are feeling called to come to Sedona. I'm going to notify you what's happening in Sedona at this particular point in time. They have pushed majority of the spiritual individuals out of Sedona by way of new rules they created, by way of new laws they have created to make the original beings feel like they can't do things here. When I came here in Sedona, I stayed at like a hotel because I've been living in nature. So I was like, I'm going to recharge, not realizing that I can only truly recharge in nature. But in order to find this nature, I have to map it. And after driving through traffic from Georgia to Arizona in 2 days, I need to recharge because when you drive through traffic, you're moving through portals and you're under heavy fire. A lot of y'all are waiting for this galactic war, but we're actually having it right now. That we created to have so we can challenge ourselves and become better beings. We are a little bit maniac. We are maniacs, guys. I just want you to understand. We are maniacs. We love experience. The more experience we have, the more we can learn. The more we learn, the more better guys we become. The better guys we become, the better our creations become. That's how it works. So the tougher the experience, the better the creation after that experience, after you analyze what happened in that experience. But what's happening in Sedona is they said you can't have no fires, right? That's one thing. And when the sun goes down at 5 o'clock and you're in a tent, you're just in darkness. And if the sky is cloaked and covered like it is now, right, it feels a little darker because fire is one of the things that we would have in the night. I had a lot of fires in Blue Ridge. Every night I was having a fire right next to my tent. I didn't think I was going to be living in a tent, but obviously my higher self wanted to challenge me to make me do something I didn't think I was going to have to do. So I took the challenge and I lived in a tent for 2 months. Right next to a lake. Got my paddleboard, got up every day, and I rode the lake. Traveling to different areas around that lake of Blue Ridge, because that's Dragon Kingdom as well. Not nowhere near as big as Arizona. This is probably the main Dragon Kingdom. This one in Colorado on the planet. But whenever you see Red Rock, you see it's a Dragon Kingdom. That's why it looks different than any other place on the earth, because it's a Dragon Kingdom. Okay, this Red Rock is like a marker. Red X meets the spot. Red X. We are the X-Men. We are the original X-Men. That's why you see a bunch of X's in the sky. It's for the X-Men. Okay, so basically in Sedona, what they did was they capitalized off of the spiritual energy here in Sedona by bringing spiritual things that they've stolen, like crystals and, you know, any businesses that are vegan and healthy. And they got the spiritual people out here to build them up, right? Then when they knew shit was going to hit the fan where they live, such as California and Florida, they basically the government created the laws to basically change the rules, make the property taxes go higher, make the expenses out here go higher to make sure it maxed the spiritual people out so they could leave Sedona and go another place, because they wanted to maximize off of this land before we took it back to the fullest extent ever, because they'll never have it again. Now, the more of us that are out here, the more potent it's going to be. But I don't know where you are in your journey. I can't really tell you what to do. It's not my job. I can only tell you what I'm doing. I can only tell you to do what it is you feel. Your feelings are your guidance system, not what you think, what it is you feel. What you think is being created in this game to think your way out of your actual results, right? But that's what gets you trapped up. You got to feel it. And feeling is going to go totally against all of your think. It's going to go totally against it. And you got to go with that. I wanted to stay in Blue Ridge. It was peaceful. I was being bothered, but it was minimal comparable to what I've been experiencing here, right? I'll give you guys an example. So, when I came out here, I got the place, and as soon as I got here, because I hadn't stayed in a hotel in quite a while, they began to annoy me in many different ways. I go outside on the patio, people out there, black people are out there talking ignorant, acting stupid. Like, where y'all come from? Because black people aren't black people what you think it is. They're inhabited by a being, a spirit, and energy. Okay, don't look at that race thing. It's energy inside of these beings that are hive mind energy. Just like you're moving back to your hive mind, Christ energy, they are already in their hive mind demonic energy. You see, and when you are a Christ being and you're around a particular area, they will naturally just do things to try to attack you. Now, these are the challenges, so you can alchemize and get back to your breath work. But in the places that I am in out here, it's been wild. Like, I'll give you an example that's really minimal, but it's maximum. Because if you are a guardian, such as myself, they try to come at you in your astral realm as well. They be steady trying to come at me in the astral realm too. But I can't die in both, you know. But they feel like they have more control in the astral realm to do touching, because they can touch you in the astral realm, but it don't do nothing to you. But sometimes in the astral realm, if you're not lucid dreaming, you don't know the difference. Okay, but I'm sleeping, and the guy upstairs cuts the water on all night, so you hear running water all night. I turned some binaural beats on and just toned them out. Drunk some tea, some herb tea, and just went to sleep. But the body still could hear it, because the body itself has ears. So even if you go to sleep or put headphones on, your body can still hear it. And as long as they keep you in fight or flight, your downloads do not come in as smoothly, because you need to sleep, and you need to sleep peacefully. If they can disturb the peace, they can disturb what's coming into you. You understand? If they can disrupt you, if they can distract you, they can disturb your downloads that are coming into you. This is probably happening to many of you right now. All of a sudden, constructions, knocks, noises. It's because it happens for two reasons too. The first reason it happens for is to get you out of the area. Sometimes, and I'm gonna get into the factions and how you know what faction is what. I'm gonna get into that too, because we're dealing with factions of beings: alpha, beta, omega, sigma, alpha, beta, omega, sigma. Yeah, that's the factions that I discovered. But back to what they're doing and why they're doing it. When they begin to do these things, is to get you out of the area, because many of you are too comfortable in the grid point that you were at, and many of you are not challenging yourselves to go to a different grid point because you're afraid to let pieces of the matrix go because of money or whatever it may be. Now, money is definitely a factor in this. I'm not going to pretend. Okay, money is definitely a factor in this. You need some level of money to be able to move around like I have. I have a certain amount of money, and after that, I don't know what's going to happen after all of my money is gone. I'm just moving in the energy, because I realize we're moving to the point where we don't need that anymore. So I have to be willing to give that up to go ahead and get something that I haven't seen before, but I can feel. That's where I'm at right now. I'm being totally transparent with you. 100%. I had to sacrifice my business, my family, my children, everything. I had to leave it behind in order to get what I am. Some of us put this game at high levels of difficulty because of high levels of power that we have. So we're ancient beings. We like, this is not really a big deal to the ancient being, but it's a big deal to the human being that forgot it's an ancient being. So we'll put challenges on ourselves to see if we will, as a human, try to go back to the ancient being and be willing to let anything go to go find that, to discover that. Now, once you're embodied with certain energy, you're going to go do that. Once you're embodied with certain energy, you're embodied with your God self. You're not going to move in certain aspects of your human self anymore, because you're embodied with God self now. You can't look back. You can't go back. It's going to feel like agony if you go back to certain things after you are embodied truly with your God self. Bli kommer som inte korrekt klicks och skin taik lo o skimexed. Blij ba omid en te correct kliks in met te correct shik torimix vele os kirim barukum vele es om te correct. So many of you need to get to grid points that are going to teach you certain levels of information so you can stop listening to all these ops that you see online telling you about this date and that date that are placed there to tell you about this date so you can look externally at something else, which means you don't move. If you don't move, that means you're giving more of your energy to the matrix. So if you're too many people have told me about 2027, right? Why the fuck are you talking about 2027? You must be an op or you must have an op programming. Because we're in 2025 right now, and all that is going on is within you right now. But if I can get the God to think about 2027, and I realize the God is the creator, that means I create 2027. That means I create 2027. Or this new thing I hear about the mama dragon coming out of the ocean. What if the mama dragon is you? And you're waiting for it to come out the ocean when the ocean is already inside of you. I'm telling you, beings are placed in front of you to distract you and to make you look externally. I'm the being that's going to teach you how to get internal. Get internal. What's happening inside of you right now? What is happening inside of you right now? How are you making this thing move right now? I'm not waiting that long. I'm making moves now. Stop moving. You know what? I gotta say, interesting study that I have studied from my level of the Christ energy is the aboriginal beings of this land. Not the original, the aboriginal. You know, the ones, the original, the first ones, the original, the first human beings, the original beings created on this planet. The aboriginals. And I'm disappointed in the aboriginals like a motherfucker. Like, it's an interesting study, but I'm a little disappointed with that creation. Because it's weak it's weak. It's a weak creation. It needs to be tweaked. I will never create anything in my image again. I don't know about you, but we are all the same energy. I don't want to do that anymore, guys. I don't want to do that anymore. I like nature. I like the animals. They seem to do their job. They seem to be a part of the ecology of nature. We created a being to try to be a part of ecology, but I feel like we gave it too much creative capacity. That makes it want to challenge us. It doesn't like to stay in its place, right? That's why many of you have been attacked by melanated beings, because they are the aboriginals that sense your God power and they realize they're not God, so they begin to attack you. Yeah, oh, you thought you was a black person? You realize you in a black body, but you a dragon. Just like you look at these black people and you see they ain't like you because it's energy, guys. It's energy. It's energy. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to find family. Fuck friends. We don't do friends. We family. Our family was our friends. Fuck these friends shit. I don't want to be friends with you. I want my family. If I happen to offend you with anything I say, I meant to. I meant to, because it was for you. You probably are the op. You probably are the ones that are on the chopping block to be destroyed. So yeah, you probably mad at me because I didn't like what it is you did. See, you realize aboriginals are judged as a group, and as a whole of a group, you did the same thing you did that got you in this place. You still worship idols. You still give energy externally. You're still easily manipulated. You still fight with each other. You're still not on code. One thing you should have learned from the ops is these motherfuckers is on code. They on code and they use you on their code. Ain't that something? They created a code to actually manipulate you so you could be on their code too. So you could attack your own creators as well. Ain't that something? Ain't that something now? What a disappointment you are. Blikomist ometokorig sikterin bokin liasomist. And then somebody didn't like what I said yesterday about the Indians. And then I realized they're one of them, $5 Indians. So I was like, oh, you think you wanted a five, even if you were a dragon, and some of you dragons have incarnated to be the Mexicans, the Asians, right? So you can watch them and study them, but you got caught up in their ideologies and now you think you're them. The first beings that were created were the beings who look like me on this planet. Okay? Okay? The Indians that you know of are Asian Mexicans. Dirty Asian Mexicans. $5 pretendies, correct. Okay? We know now. We are the ones who created the beings who you're trying to impersonate. We were going to remember soon enough. Ble de kurenglix in charak sectormixed. Ble de rig boost the king rig secterem. And now the original mommy and daddy is back in the building. So I suggest you behave. But if you don't behave, we're going to still study that. And based off of the punishment that you receive, it's going to be very fair based off of what it is you did to mommy and daddy when you realized mommy and daddy was actually back here. And whether you're Aboriginal, whether you're in a Caucasian body, whether you're in an Asian body, whether you're in a Mexican body, we see how you treat us. We see how you attack us. You realize you can't stop this. So if you realize you can't stop this, why would you continue to fuck with us? That's an interesting study. Oh, the creation inside of you can't stop because it wants to survive, not realizing its energy. And what's really on the chopping block is energy. Okay? Energy either evolves or it gets recycled so it can learn its lesson again. All of us are on a level of energy based off of the incarnations that we had. When we have more incarnations, our energy gets more responsibility inside the manners of creation. So this particular energy here that we are observing is on the chopping block of judgment based off of the manner of their activity, of how they treated the earth, how they treated the animals, how they treated the creators when they realized the creators were back. All these beings want to worship Jesus and all these things. When when Jesus actually comes back, they're like, "You're not Jesus. You can't be Jesus. You look like us." What did you think it was going to look like? Skin of bronze, hair of wool. Blow giang. I'm coming with a sword. My sword right next to me, yo. McClare so me the Korea cake, Torian Miluez. Many of y'all got y'all swords too. Because we are all the same energy. We just have different purposes inside of it. Are you doing your purpose? I believe many of you are. I've been reading y'all energy. Many of y'all are on. I want you to understand something. We wanted to experience the end of this particular creation. So we came here for the end. Right? Now, we also wanted to observe the experience that is ending right now. So we also are our higher selves on those ships, observing us as the experiencer. I'm going to run it back. We are the experiencer of this reality and these beings on the creations coming to the end. Our higher selves are the beings on those ships observing us, allowing us to experience it. So there are certain things that we can't know yet so we can properly experience it, because if we know it too soon, that means our higher selves will not get enough data. So it may seem like you don't know things or you're doing the wrong thing, but you're actually not doing the wrong thing. You are doing the correct thing at this particular point in time. Sometimes it may feel like you're not. Listen to your feelings. Your higher selves are talking to you. They're helping you the whole time. Are you not hearing the ships in the sky? They're always following you. They're always around you. Are you getting in nature? If you're not getting in nature, then you are probably discombobulated with all the noises that you're hearing. Reading is over, guys. Put them fucking books down. You are the book. The only reason why you need the books is because you're not getting to your grid points. The only reason why you want to listen to everybody out here to be parroting something that you need to hear right now at some point. Because these people that are online, I'm going to tell you something about them. They only work on you, right? Because you don't know the truth. So what they'll do is they'll continue to parrot the same points that have an emotional response in you to make you continue to listen to them. But you don't really move after that, do you now? It's like, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. But then you sit the fuck still. Because these bodies are not what you think they are. Especially if you're one of us, the original beings of this land. The ones who are genetically fusing with this land, locked into this land. All you gotta do is be on the land and you do your job. The thing is, can you get to the land? Because if you're at a point where you still need to read books You got to read books to get information when you are the book and your DNA is coming online. Whether the sun is covered right now or not, you're still going to get it. See, one thing nature taught me when I was living in it is that it's not all about the sun. You got a sun under your feet. These trees are the sun. This wind is the sun. This fire is the sun. This water is the sun, because it's all information. You only sit under the sun because it feels good and gives you information. But how much do you sit in nature when the sun is not around? So what the sun will do sometimes is allow it to be removed. Turn the volume down a little bit, allow it to be removed so you can actually focus on what's right in front of you. You see, everything in your reality is pushing you to where you got to go. It's just that, can you see it, alchemize your environment, and move with it, and be confident in the movement, not knowing what's going to happen after that particular point in time. Blikomterig, bosimist, omitareg, lix umist, hayam stas, omikleg dumist, omikarek lix, ojimizan, zaeg dok, bleog zun tokueng mistest, harem slips, tokueng mist, orixt, bayam zaptikoring lixt, irim zarum, blix ik, tormix, the koring lixt, ijingarik. Oh, somebody talked about trees too. Let's talk about some trees real quick. Hold on, yo. I like that. I like that topic. So what I remember about these trees, right? Because here, this is a vortex. Like, these are vortex trees. So you'll find that they're kind of coiled a little bit. These trees are alive. And when they're fully alive, they move like snakes. Now let's talk about this one, right? This is this is so freaking sharp. So healthy right here. These could shoot. These were weapons, right? When the beings that were not around, were not supposed to be around this area, these little thorns would be darts and it would shoot at people. Okay? What powers this up but the water in the rock? Because rock holds water. Mekliks unj. Mekliks unj. Aik mostin. Blaik do king lo osgiere quick sitirim. Blikam. You know, so let's get into the factions real quick. I didn't forget, y'all. Let's get into the factions. So I want you to observe your environment and come back to me with this if you get a chance, right? You don't have to, but you can. Now, if you hit me up in my DM and you're an op, I'm going to discover it, because I can travel all through this matrix. And if you're an op and you hit me up in my DM, I'm going to figure it out. So I suggest, if you're an op and you don't want to be found, just leave me alone. All right? Leave me alone. All right? But anyway, what I said was, okay, so check. Factions. Alpha, Omega, Alpha, was it Alpha, Omega, Beta, Sigma. Now, when you're in a reality, you have factions that will support you because it's just energy. So because you created these beings, you can inhabit your energy, your Christ energy can inhabit these bodies to assist you on these journeys. Caucasian bodies, black bodies, Asian bodies, Mexican bodies, to assist you on these journeys. I want you to understand how we can do this. We can just jump into bodies and not even realize it. And these factions, we can go inside of them and we can use them to help us out on our journey. So when I was in Blue Ridge, there were many beings that were assisting me on my journey. They were escorting me in and out of nature. Those were the white vehicles. The white vehicles are about the feminine energy. The black vehicles are about the masculine energy, because the black vehicles were my supporters and the white vehicles were about the feminine energy. And then you have the red vehicles that are the antagonists. And then you have the gray vehicles that are neutral. They just do their job. And then all the weird other color vehicles, right? They're just there and they pay to be there to see you in your grid points, because I said before, if you leave the matrix and you go to your grid points, you're on tour. They're studying the gods, remembering themselves. And once the gods remember that they are a god that cannot be touched, that God's going to begin to move back into that energy. And that takes movement. Now, many gods have set their reality up where they can actually do that. And many gods haven't, because their job is to figure out how they can do that or take the risk without knowing what's going to happen if they do that. And these factions are broken down into these vehicles. So you may see white vehicles a lot of white vehicles, a lot of black vehicles, a lot of red vehicles, more red vehicles than ever, and then gray vehicles. And what they do in traffic to you, white vehicles are the ones who just escort and follow. Black vehicles also escort, follow a little antagonist. Red vehicles are straight-laced antagonists. Red and burgundy vehicles are straight antagonists. And then gray vehicles are neutral, but a lot of them are antagonists too. I've had some encounters with a lot of gray vehicles. And these beings in these vehicles are just energy. They're not even real. They're just NPCs. These beings are NPCs. So when you're NPC, anything can inhabit you, whether it's a benevolent energy, whether it's a malevolent energy. You can be inhabited. It's like in the movie I, Robot. They were telling you a lot in these movies, right? I studied these movies. That's why I watched them, because I studied them. I wanted to study them. I wanted to watch every last one to see what my mind was going to tell me about what's about to happen. In I, Robot, they were using robots, AI, right, to help them, right? Okay. So they played God and created a being, and one being woke up, which affected the other beings. Doesn't that sound like what's happening right now? A few beings in the beginning, like I woke up in 2017, right? Inside of all these beings that were NPCs woke up and realized that, wait a second, how did it wake up? Because all this, in order to move a body, it takes energy. But when you have a soul enter into the body, it changes what the body can do, how the body can think, how the body looks completely. And what we did as souls is we entered into these vehicles. We stayed dormant. We stayed dormant, just observing, just doing what we did. We stayed dormant, and then we woke up in these vehicles, sleeper cells. And we had to incarnate here at certain times. And they all knew who we were. They knew we were going to wake up sooner or later. Just like iRobot. Same difference. We created them, and then they created a system. And because they created a mindset, which created a whole new being. Like, these beings had the knowledge. So in this realm, they were God to the beings who didn't. And they played God to the beings who didn't, controlling what those beings did. They created a system of job, school, right? Sports, food, entertainment, right? To make these beings do a certain thing. If I can control what the beings do, I can control everything that comes to me, because I can make these beings power my whole system up. That's what they did to the humans. And we studied that. Hope I'm not getting too deep for y'all. I'm just getting all this right now. So I'm digesting as I'm speaking right now. Can I touch on reptilians, please? I sure can. I'm not sure if y'all ready for this one, though. All right. But I'm going to say it, though. Okay. Reptilians are basically in the Draco family. Right? They're reptiles. Humanoid looking reptiles that basically work for the primordial dragons. And the reptilians' job, they're watching all the beings who run the planet. They're controlling a lot of the beings who run the planet as well. So reptilians are watching the beings who run the planet right now. I want you to understand everything works for you. Every enemy, every adversary works for you. Every last one of them. So I know you think they're bad because you thought you was a human, but you're not a human. You're a dragon. And under dragons, we have workers. Okay, I want you to understand something. You know how you go to a job and you have a boss, right? And under that boss, you have particular workers. You got your CEO, and then you got your executive assistant, and then you go down, right? Okay, bet. Reptilians, right, basically do that for us. Now, some of them, you have good factions, you have bad factions. The fact of the matter is we created good and bad. So take accountability for both. You can't just take account, okay, I'm going to speak for myself, because I know that I'm a being that masters both energies. Many of you may not be beings, or may have not realized you master both energies. So you look at these things as bad as you have not controlled them, but you actually have to experience them both. Woo, that's a big one. Woo, comme says. Hear that? Cloximist. Okay, somebody said reptilians work for AI. Who created AI? Who created AI? Who created ancestral intelligence? Take accountability for your entire reality, and your reality will start teaching you some shit. But when you don't take accountability for your reality, then you are subject to be controlled by that reality because you have not realized you created it and it's all your mind. We created it. So who they work for? Us. Everybody work for you. You are having the experience. They work for the fact that you're having an experience. Some are working with benevolence. Some are working with malevolence. It's time to take your power back. And stop looking at things like everything's happening to you. Well, if it's happening to you, that means you wanted it to observe and to alchemize and then to transform because of this observation and this experience. I mean, are you taking it back or no? This is how it looks and this is how it sounds when you begin to take it back. You know what this shit is. You can say it so matter-of-factly because you've created so many realities and so many games that are a lot like this. Do you see? So what happens also when you start to get in nature, you'll have like monitoring spirits. I'll give you an example. Here's some monitoring spirits. Let's get them on because they want to be famous today. So let's get them famous. There's some monitoring spirits right there, right? They'll stop. They'll listen to you. Some things that happened to me in Blue Ridge is when I was on the paddleboard, boats would try to knock me off. Yeah, you class so many class, on Michiran, so clicks, RM. But it would try to knock me off my paddleboard. But then I was like, oh, I like that. That's a test. I got really good on my paddleboard because of that. And then they just start to come and just take pictures, and big old fleets of them would be watching me rediscover my land. And then I realized that they have a private network. And that private network is called the God Network. And that God Network is amongst the rich beings that have the information and their family members. And at certain levels, they can access what is happening and experiencing with certain gods. They are tapped into your phones. They are tapped into your TVs. They are tapped into everything that you are in the matrix. And they watch you at all times. Okay? At certain levels, depending on the level of God you are, that means they can access more of you. Like seeing you, or like these beings that are coming around me right now while I'm speaking, they probably are part of their families. Everywhere I go, it's an entertainment. Like they're action junkies. That's why you only see really Caucasians that do it. Some black people, but more of them because they're action junkies. They know that they may not be coming back as this body, so they'll just experience life to the freaking fullest. So you know how they like will go in nature and try to wrangle snakes and crocodiles. Well, this is like them trying, like what happens when I'm around a God that could activate at any moment and destroy this whole atmosphere. I did it. Oh God, look, I did it. I did it. I did it. You know? That's how it goes. Somebody said, why is drones watching me in the sky? Everything's watching you. Fuck a drone. You got them ships watching you. What are you doing with yourself? I don't care. Listen, when you got your family, which are you, in those ships watching you, I'm like, I'm not bitching up. I don't care what happened to me. I ain't bitching up. I got the whole cosmos watching me. You think these beings watching you is fun? You famous? No, you're famous in the cosmos. And what you're doing right now is probably the most interesting thing happening right now in the cosmos. So what I do, I'm like, okay, I know I'm on TV in the cosmos. So I'm like, I'm not going to bitch up. Some of y'all bitching up. And your ancestors looking at you like, I know they couldn't handle it. See? Look at them. Now they got to get downgraded. They got to get demoted when they go back. Got to get demoted because you ain't do your job. We at work. We at work and we experiencing and we having fun at the same time because work is fun. Because the experience is work and that is fun. But what you do with your reality is up to you. I only tell you what I do with my reality. And ever since I left Williamstown, New Jersey in April 26, 2025, it has been non-stop action. I thought I was getting action back in Williamstown. Not even close. Because when you leave the matrix and stop participating in it, you're sovereign and you can't be touched. Do you see? I'm telling you, I've had a lot of instances with police officers where if I was in the matrix, I would have definitely been touched. But the fact that I left, I'm now sovereign and they know it. So all they can do is observe and try to mess with you a little bit. Because once you get to a certain level, you're never going back. What I suggest for many of you is to find out what you are made of and go find a place in nature that you can stay for. Try a week. Try a week. In the beginning, it wasn't even difficult. I'm being honest with you. I had already been connecting to nature on the lower level. So when it came time to live in nature, it was like a button turn on, and I was locked into it. It wasn't even hard. I would like to say it was difficult, but it wasn't. I thought it would be, which is probably why I waited so long. But that wasn't a mistake as well, because I waited so long because I was observing as well. So that was on purpose too. But when you finally get to nature, you'll see like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be in. This feels like home. The fact of the matter is you aren't flying yet, so it feels like a lot of work to get there and to move through it. But you're doing this so it won't one day be like a lot of work. You have to do this first because it's an uptick. You see? You're not going to sit at a job upticking because you're giving away too much of your energy. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, I'm asking you, how do you feel right now? Do you feel like that's what you're supposed to be doing? All right, go ahead and continue to do it. You may be studying the environment that you're working in. Like I said, we're always studying, we're always experiencing. Many of you are implanted into places in the matrix where you're studying and you're analyzing. So I get that too. I'm just where I'm at. Somebody got to do it first. Somebody got to give you news on the ground first so you can actually see what's going on before it happens. Like, I get how scary it is for many of you just to up and do it. I understand that. I understand that. Because it was for me too. I just do the shit I'm scared of. That's the thing. I'm like, if I'm scared of it, that means that I shouldn't be scared of it. And I want to know why I am scared of it. And the only reason to find out why I am scared of it is to do it and to find out I wasn't scared of it at all. Everything that you're scared of is something that you're not scared of. Everything that you're scared of is what you're not scared of. You've just been tricked to be scared of it. The loss of money is what keeps a linear y'all back. The loss of money or not having money. Well, we're not going to need to eat soon. And, can I talk about that? Because normally you think you need money because you think you need food. And I get that because food is expensive. All the shit out here is massively overpriced. But everywhere it's like that, right? And a lot of you are like, well, I want to fast because I want to fast and I want to get my powers. But you don't have to do that at this time. You listen to your body and your body will tell you what it is it wants and it doesn't want. You don't have to force a fast for powers. I thought that was a mindset. Fasting is excellent. It's incredible. But once it's time to stop eating, your body will naturally reject food and will derive power from the atmosphere. It will happen naturally. You will be forced to do it. Because I know one thing. I know one great thing about this experience was the food. And I was a foodie. Most definitely a foodie. And I could eat whatever I wanted. I still can eat whatever I want. But it's happening less now. But food is something to be alchemized. So, the denser the food, the more I can alchemize. Food was also another interesting study. The fact that they could put a bunch of poison in food thinking it was going to affect us at a certain level. It affected us at a different level. It don't affect us at this level. But soon that's about to go out the window as well. I could feel that coming. And when you get to certain grid points, your body begins to transform because you went to those grid points. It's like when you get to this power source, your body's going to do this particular thing. When you get to that power source, your body's going to do this particular thing. But the journey is about you getting to this power source. Each power source does something different to your physical body as well. Because you don't have a physical body anymore. You have a God body that once was a physical body. Because when a soul inhabits a body, it turns it into something else entirely. Spirits can't do what bodies with souls can do. Because that's just like an avatar. So let's get back to the money thing, right? So money is something that many of you are afraid to lose. And I get it. Because money is something that in order to go somewhere, you need gas, and that takes money right there. You got to get supplies. That takes money right there. All that. But the thing is, they want to teach you about these dates in the future so you can continue to go to work, get this money, and continue to be miserable so you never even take a risk. You can always get a job, right? You can always find some work. You can always make some money, can't you? Right? But can you always tap into your God powers? You have seen what that looks like already over there. You've observed it. And you're feeling this call to nature. Like, okay, somebody said the Grand Canyon is calling. Okay, you're feeling a call to nature. But you're not moving in it. It's calling you and you're not picking up. Many are called, few are chosen. And don't look at this chosen one thing no more. Because some beings are chosen to try to come against the gods. So chosen ones, a lot of beings online talking about chosen ones, they do not know the real information. If you're still talking this chosen one shit, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. See, at a point, we talked about that. But that was with the information that we had. But now information is coming in that beings are chosen to be opposition to God beings, to primordial deities. That's what you are. So you think you're around a bunch of chosen ones, but you're around a bunch of ops. Chosen one. Claximix. Now, let's say if a place in nature is calling you. All right. Nature has chosen you to go there. Nature just chose you because it's calling you. And you're still sitting where you are. You don't even try to find a way. You don't even take a weekend there. A weekend ain't going to cost you much. A little trip is not going to cost you much. But I bet you it'll change your life. I bet you it'll change your life. Some of y'all won't even do that. You'll just sit and continue to be annoyed, thinking this shit's going to stop. Thinking the drills and the lawnmowers and the leaf blowers and the knocking and the noise and their disruptive tones are going to stop. And they're not. Because you were supposed to move. Not move with your whole house. Just move physically. Just move. You cannot manifest anything without rapid action, guys and gals and gods and goddesses. Primordial, whatever you want to call yourself. Primordial deities of the Christos Christ energy. Kundalini popping, y'all. Do you realize what we got coming to us? This is small. Something light to a giant. Where is it at? I hear it. Somebody got a drone right next to me. They hiding that drone too. Come in, Silver Clex. You want TV? You on TV on both sides, yo. When you start moving. Now you're on TV as well when you're not moving. Right? The unnatural beings be taking bets out on you to see what you're gonna do. It's a whole network about you. Right now I'm being broadcasted. This video is being broadcasted on that network right now. Right now. I know you working grids. I know you've been working grids before I even started, bro. You've been on them grids before I even started. Just some of y'all gave me the motivation to even do this because you've been doing it like this for so long. I'm like, shit, if he doing it like that, I gotta be doing it too. He's my brother. He's another dragon. I gotta be doing this. That's why I keep on saying, yo, don't be looking at that white black thing. That shit is a scam. It's a human dragon thing. Humans were created by the primordial beings. There are levels, like there are first creation, second creation, third creation, fourth creation, fifth creation of humans. Right? We have our model and then we go off that model. And then some of the models can mix and then create new types of models. Right? Hit me up, man. Hit me up on WhatsApp, bro. I'll give you my new number. Hit me up on WhatsApp. But I know more of us got to be out here because they didn't intimidate all the spiritual beings out of, they intimidated the spiritual humans out of Sedona. Now the gods, on the other hand, you can't really intimidate us. Not when we know what we know. All right. See? The crow is like, hell yeah, come on, come through. Come through. Klex, bli komen som dag, smosh. Som är så korrekt. Next, comest. Corbix. Yo, they're such jokesters, yo. Crows are like the jokesters of nature. They are such troublemakers. But I love them, yo. Crows be doing the jobs, man. So, okay, let's talk about factions. Since I'm on crows, we're going to talk about factions inside of nature because we are nature beings. So crows work for the black eagles. Bless them with the correct. Karen glixt. Oh, my class. Edouard, Karen glixt. East. Class mist. Oh, my class. Oh, my toreg. They fuck with you. They understand. They know who their parents are, and they rock with us. And it's funny, before I get into the factions, they have also been observing everything too, reporting back to you too. Because they are the energy as well. They are the original. They came before the humans. All the animals and stuff, they came before the humans, right? We just decided to make another, let's make something that look like us. See what happened with that. Now, certain of us in those factions decide to see this, right? Do this. Like me as a scientist, I decided to like, well, shit, you the one that could do it. You go ahead and do it, scientist. All right, I'm doing it. We're going to go ahead and spirit. We're going to see what happens. Some of us are scientists. Some of us are master builders. Some of us are the protectors. I got all them aspects of me. I do them all, right? But inside the factions of the Crows work for the Black Eagles. They are like the police. Here they come. Classic, so missed. Blickome so missed. Oh, she's asked. Clearmost. So they are the police. They will fight other eagles. They will, because what was happening in Blue Ridge is the hawks and the bald eagles would really be excited that I was around, and they would leave their positions to come see me. So when they were not in their position, the crows would gang up on the hawks and the eagles and saying, go back to your fucking post. What's wrong with you? But the black eagle that would follow me, it will be only one black eagle that follows me. He's the king of them. He is he's the general out of all of them, right? And he works directly under me as the king dragon phoenix. That's what I got many forms, but dragon phoenix, if you think about that, think about dragon phoenix. That's one of my main forms. And he reports to me, right? And he's watching me while I'm on the experience and tip, making sure my stuff never gets touched, because I left my stuff in nature every day. My e-bike, my tent, all of my stuff in nature while I went and had excursions for the entire day, and nobody ever touched none of my stuff. Not once. And I was right next to a road where trucks could just roll up on there and do it, but they never touched my stuff because I'm protected. The bees protect. The crows protect. The birds protect. The bears protect. The wolves protect. McClext. So, the eagles work under, the bald eagles work under the black eagles. Normally be two of those. One day I saw 5 though, right? And they'll be the captains under the generals. But the police, because they move in gangs, can make a captain go back to your position if they're not doing their shit. Right? That's what they do. They're like, crows are like internal affairs inside of nature. Like, nigga, you ain't doing your job, we gonna whoop your ass. Now, crows and blue jays be going at it because those are the loudest birds in nature. Crows and blue jays, the loudest birds. But sometimes they want to take turns watching us, making sure we good. They both have a similar position, but it's less blue jays than crows. Crows, it's gangs. Blue jays move in gangs, but they only move in gangs about 4 or 5. And they're like generals as well. They're like little general police too, right? And they alert. That's why they're so loud. They alert and they let you know when danger's around. So listen to the blue jays, because maybe you've seen some blue jays and they'll alert you. They're talking to you. So feel what it is they're saying to you. And dragonflies are ships. Okay. Remember, y'all, we can shrink. You ever seen Honey, I Shrunk the Kid? The dragonflies showed me in Mineral Bluff, Georgia, that many of the dragonflies are shrunken ships. They also showed you that in Dune. That's why, and in Wakanda, that's why the ships look like insects. They were showing you insects. Many insects are also ships too. Listen, look at what you're saying. Talking, so missed. Are cardinals loud? I don't remember cardinals really being loud. I've seen a lot of cardinals, but I don't remember them being loud. But they do their job in nature too. And cardinals normally move as a unit in 2s, male and female. The males are the bright colored ones. The females are like the brownish red colored ones. Okay. So cardinals got a job too. They do their job. They don't like, and you can never look a cardinal in his face. They do not like to be stared at. They never like to be stared at all. That's their thing. Like, listen, let me be beautiful over here. Let me chill out over here. Don't look at me. I'm doing me. But listen, this is our true family. Our true family is nature. And when you get out in nature, you realize how it works and does what it does. Right? And sometimes crows get a little upset because we be looking at the hawks and the eagles, discounting that crows are just as big. These crows out here is just as big as hawks. They're just as big as hawks. They always circle you. They always do that. They be watching. They report back. Vultures are reconnaissance. So vultures do reconnaissance. I haven't seen any vultures out here because the crows got this area covered. Crows and ravens got this area covered. But vultures are reconnaissance. They're like the drones of nature. Just be out here. They clean up the shit off the street. They eat that. And then they just be reporting back. They're reconnaissance. Okay? Beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful, y'all. I mean, look. This is a freaking lion, yo. Can y'all see that? I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Right there. What do you think that is? That was like a little Sphynx lion. It's just cloaked right now. It's all about to wake up, y'all. It's all about to wake up right now. And it's about to pop out. It's the sun trying to pop out a little bit. Where's she at? Let me back up a little bit. Where's she at? She's trying to pop out up there, but it don't matter. I'm still getting the energy. It don't even matter. The energy's still coming. And this was a whole structure. Whole crystal structure right there. Bow. Like, what? Come on. Okay, so if y'all want to know about the animals in nature, everybody has a job. And what I love about nature is everything in nature does its job. Because they're in the ecology of nature. So when they're in ecology, they all do their job. And when you're a part of the ecology of nature, you no longer get bit. You no longer get messed with. You no longer are afraid. Snakes stay out your way. Scorpions stay out your way. The things that be attacking unnatural beings never attack you. When I was in my tent and I heard the bears right outside of my tent, I'm like, well, shit, that was my family. Let me feed them. I was feeding them every night outside my tent. Bears, raccoons, wolves were howling right outside my tent. Because when you are that, they are not attacking you. That was programmed inside of you, so you would never go back to nature. So they were showing you their consequences for going out in nature, not your consequences, to make you not want to go outside and be afraid of the woods, when the woods is where you derive your power from. The woods and nature and all those different settings is where you derived your power from. Don't be tricked, y'all. It's funny, I had lived in Williamstown for 5 years, and I didn't go out in the woods in Williamstown until year 3 because I was afraid of the woods. I was like, I love nature, but I would not go into them damn woods because of all those scary movies I saw when I was younger. Until one day, I had met a feminine, and a feminine liked to go out in nature because I was with a feminine before that didn't like to go outside in nature, right? She didn't want to go outside at all. It was like she was allergic to nature. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this chick? And I had bought my house to go outside in nature, but my kids ain't want to go out there. My wife ain't want to go out there. I'm like, damn, I guess I got to stay in here to experience them. But when I let that go and I met a female I attracted a female that wanted to do what I did, that's when I started going out in nature, because a lot of y'all are on these journeys, and a cheat code okay, I know everybody has not attracted this, but a cheat code to this journey is your divine counterpart. Anybody who has found a divine counterpart knows what I'm talking about. Everything is better because both of you are experiencing you have, first things first, you express your abilities in 2 different ways, right? You're expressing your abilities in 2 different ways. She expresses them internally, you express them externally. And when you're around each other, you balance each other out. But you have to get to a certain level of consciousness and movement where you reflect that back to you. Now, sometimes your divine counterpart can show up unhealed, which would be a false feminine or a false masculine, right? And all of us have been both. All of us have been one or the other, not both, right? We started out, I was a false masculine when I was younger. Many of y'all, all of y'all, was false feminine, false masculine, because you were moving on an energy that you were not designed to move on, right? But when you stick with that person, or you may break up with that person, and that person comes back to you because breaking up with you may have helped them and helped you, and you get back together, because if they're a divine counterpart, you're going to get back together. You guys are literally made for each other for this mission. Like, what we do is we sync, right? We sync two different polarities, like the yin yang. We'll sync two different polarities, and we'll do certain things in these polarities, right, to basically find each other. And once these things are done, we find each other and we work on ourselves. And then we go from false masculine, false feminine with each other into divine counterparts, because that is what happens when two individuals heal together. And then you become telepathic. You have the same thoughts. You begin to, she expresses what you are holding internally, and then vice versa. And you bounce off each other, and then you do this mission together. I haven't talked about this much because I don't talk about that particular aspect of my life, because I learned the hard way about putting anything personal online when it comes to that. You see what I'm saying? But a cheat code to this matrix is to find your divine counterpart, right? Seriously. It's a cheat code. And you have to get to the particular level where you reflect that. You know, like I said, somebody said they found your false masculine. Some of them come as false. If they're in a point where they can take accountability for where they are not at, right? For where they are, I'm gonna get into that. For where they are not at, right? And work on that, then they can become your divine counterpart. But this person has to want to work. Now, somebody said not everybody has one. I agree to that as well, because some beings do have missions where they have to get it without it. You have to get it from the mud. But I'm saying if you do have one, it's a cheat code. Yes, everybody doesn't have one. I agree. Some of y'all are here to do this dolo, and that was the mission that you put on yourself at high difficulty. But you beings that have attracted one, or you haven't attracted one, don't think you're not supposed to have one if you don't have one right now, just because you haven't attracted it. You just haven't attracted it yet. Just continue to do what you're supposed to do. Don't even look for it. Like, many of y'all who find or are looking for your divine masculine, or your feminine, you don't find them because you're looking for them. That's not how it works. You do not look for a divine counterpart. You just continue to do your purpose. And if that comes, that was meant for you. That's how that works. You don't have to look for anything. You design this game. You design a game that your feelings will guide you at a certain point. That your feelings will guide your movement at a certain point. Do you see? Somebody said that he don't want to do the work, then you got to make your move. Maybe your move will make him want to do the work. Are you willing to make your move to risk that? It's not really a risk either, especially if he looks into himself and sees who you are. And if he sees who you are, what will happen? He will see that he lost something good, and he will have to work on himself to get it back, to get her back. Or he will work on himself and get somebody else, his real divine counterpart. Because some of y'all are with your false masculine, false feminine, and because you won't let them go, you and them do not find the divine counterpart. Yes, you're definitely a mirror. And even when you are with your divine reflection, you are also a mirror. You just see each other like, okay, this part in you, you got this issue. That means I got something going on with me, because you're only a mirror to me. Let me look at that instead of getting mad at you. Let me look at why you are showing me this about you. It's not you, it's really me, because I'm seeing it through you, but it's me, because you are me. See that? See that? Because you have to look at this game as from a higher point of view. A lot of you are looking at the game as a human. You have to look at the game as the observer, right? You're the experiencer, but you have to tap into your observer aspect and look down at you and like, okay, why is this happening to me? What's going on here? What am I doing that creates this environment? Why are my thoughts thinking this if I don't like these thoughts? Or what can I do to change these thoughts? Why do I continue to attract these people that don't serve me? What is it about me that attracts these people? Because it's something about me, because I'm the common denominator in my reality if I'm the creator. So why is it happening to me? Where is my reality trying to push me to? You see? You see? Bless om ett korrekek, koring lixt, umist. Bli torek, kueng, sitorek, shitaek, most. Blick om ist, om ett korrek, shik, terem, wolf, So I think I gave you guys a lot to digest today. And I'm going to leave it there. You enjoy your day. I'm going to continue to be on my kingdom, our dragon kingdom, right? That we're slowly, soonly, we're not slowly, we're doing it at the right time. Nothing's slow, I'm going to kill that. Nothing is slow and nothing is fast. It is flow and all in the right time. Nothing is slow, nothing is fast. But sometimes traffic will try to get you slow because slow is fast. When you move slow, you think fast. When you move fast, you think slow. So a lot of y'all be moving fast through traffic. Slow down when you drive and see how your thoughts go. Sometimes these factions will try to teach, like in Blue Ridge, the faction was trying to teach me to drive slow so I could think fast because slow is fast. Blizomito correct, shake tags, all kidding. Bulkix, or Miss Ass, Klex. I will save this live. Y'all can watch the replay. I love you. To the next one. Fly Dorksimist.